And good morning, good Saturday morning. Beautiful blue skies outside our studio this morning, kind of crisp and cool, like we like it, right, Mike Powell?
I just wish it were colder.
Do you?
Yeah, heck yeah.
It is a, well, it's not going to tell me what our reading is this morning. I thought I'd get a reading here on the thermometer.
I think I had 28.
Yeah,
that's what my car said. 28.
Okay, we'll go with that. I don't know why I'm not getting the
just below freezing
weather signal at this point, but 29 just pops up now. The second time I try 29. Low was 26 this morning at daybreak, and 56, which is comfortable.
That'd be nice
to me.
Yeah, I love that. Gets in the middle 50s.
Yeah, 56 will be a comfortable outside, as long as there's no breeze, of course, blowing. That can make it a little different, but. Glad to have you with us on a Saturday morning. Got plenty to talk about. I have got some good trivia this morning that relates to Super Bowl, because we got a Super Bowl coming up in, what is it, 2 weeks? 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yep.
I got a little bit of trivia too from Thursday night. I always do trivia in Lincoln.
Yes, you do.
I'll give mine after you.
Is it sports related?
It's sports related.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I figured it'd be sports or music.
Yeah, so we'll throw it out to the audience.
Yeah. And I was just trying to think as I was had my long drive over this morning. Did we
I had the long drive.
did we lose any? But it's not long.
No.
It's longer than mine.
No.
But no, it don't. But did we lose any music icons this week? It just seems like over the last 3 months or so,
it's been a slaughter of losing iconic music.
Is David Crosby still the most recent that that we know of? Because it's odd now to go.
It is
a full week here lately. It's hard to go a full week without losing somebody.
Yeah, I mean, so many of the artists from the 60s and 70s are checking out.
About the same age.
Yeah.
And, that's
it's sad.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
So,
but, of course, we did have the passing of the great Billy Packer.
Yes, we did.
A few days ago.
When you get into sports, saw a really nice picture yesterday, and I even made a screenshot to have it with him and his family.
Yeah,
looked like on the front lawn on the sidewalk of his house.
I think that was a few years ago.
Yeah. Oh, it had to be
because his wife had already passed.
Yep. Yep. So you saw that too.
I really think, I don't know what you think, or Lanny or the audience, but when you had Packer, Al Michaels, and Dick Enberg on NBC. That's the best crew of college basketball.
That's the one that Dan Patrick said that he liked the best of all time.
Because both Packer and McGuire, they were opinionated, and sometimes they butted heads. And Dick Enberg was sort of the referee on that. He was sort of the middleman, or
somebody had to break them up.
Yeah.
I also remember the days of Thacker and Packer.
Jim
Thacker was a long time. Raycom, I guess. It was back then it was
C.D. Chesley in the beginning. It was great. Those were great days.
What I remember was Sail with the Pilot. The Pilot Insurance was their main sponsor.
That's right.
Had the little theme song with Sail with the Pilot.
I remember Jefferson Pilot.
Went on to be that later.
Yeah.
Went on to be that later. Combination of
C.D. Chesley, Jefferson Pilot. Then was it Raycom
C.D.
at some
Chesley
point?
Production. Yes, Raycom took over later on.
I went through several.
Tried to take over everything.
One stat I heard about Packer, he did 34 straight Final Fours, starting in '76, I think it was.
34 straight Final Fours. That's impressive.
Some with Jim Nantz.
Yep. Some on CBS, some on NBC. Yeah. So does that mean
there were some with Brent Musburger too?
He would have had to do something with Brent Musburger. That's right. So, but it's just me and Brett talked about him last night. Didn't always agree with him.
No.
But respected what he did.
He didn't care.
He's like he was anti-Carolina and anti-Duke at times, and that comes from playing at Wake Forest for all those years. Well, I guess he took it easy on State.
He thought that created a balance because he heard it both ways. He was anti-Carolina, he was anti-Duke, he was anti-this, and he figured, well, there must be balance because, they all think differently.
At the time, though, a lot of his career, State was the NC State was the top dog. It wasn't Duke or North Carolina. Then,
well, that's right.
I can't remember what year he actually stepped down and retired, but
I think it was.
I wonder if he
what
was.
What about 2010? Would have been,
I think that's right.
If he did 30 something
okay.
straight Final
34
Fours.
straight Final
So
Fours.
that answers my first question.
Right.
That was 20 years or 18 years after Duke won their back-to-back. So I'm guessing he was on the call of those. I don't remember exactly, but I'm guessing. And I don't know at that time if that would have been Nance or if that would have been Musburger. I just don't remember who called those games.
Yeah,
I was thinking Nance, but I don't know if he had started doing Final Fours yet.
You think about it now, 92 is a long time ago now.
Yeah.
You know? What, we at 30 years? 31?
I mean, look at some of the iconic games he called. Bird versus Magic, 79.
Yeah, yep. Which is still the most highly rated
Final Four
college basketball game of all time. College basketball game of all time.
He did the NC State win over
Lorenzo
Houston.
Charles dunk. That's right. He did
The Villanova,
Michael Jordan shot to beat Georgetown.
The Villanova Georgetown
upset.
Yeah.
The big upset.
Duke's back-to-back title runs in 91 and 2. That.
When he retired and everything, or maybe even before he retired, did he always live in? I just assumed that picture was in Winston-Salem. Is that where he lived or not?
Charlotte.
He lived in Charlotte. Okay. And the only reason I thought Winston-Salem is just because of where he played, you know. But so that was in Charlotte.
Well, Mark Packer also lives in Charlotte.
Yeah. And a lot of people know who that is, and some may not. But the son of Billy, who's had various talk shows.
Yeah.
Various talk shows.
He was in Charlotte radio for years. Then, of course, was with Sirius XM for 10 or 11. Now he's on the ACC network with a show in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. So while we're on the subject of college basketball, I'm going to throw this out there at you. Last night I was flipping channels, and for whatever reason,
New Mexico and Air Force.
He already knows. How did you know what kind of question I was going to ask? That was pretty good. You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay.
But I was going to ask you, who do you think – I wasted 10 minutes. But who do you think I was watching play basketball?
Was it Davidson?
No, but that was on. I flipped over there and watched a little bit of it too. But maybe when I flipped over there, I think St. Louis is already up 12 in the first half.
Davidson's not doing very well.
No, they're not. In the
first year without Bob McKillop.
Yeah. Well, his son is the coach.
Yeah.
Correct.
Lenny says the photo I was talking about of Billy Packer was taken 2 Thanksgivings ago.
Okay.
So
with the whole family.
So she was still alive that recent then.
She was.
Okay. Yep. Not this past Thanksgiving, but the one before. Thank you, Lenny. But who did I waste my time on watching last night? I was going to give you guys a great hint as to who I was watching.
I just knew that New Mexico, which was the rank, was playing Air Force.
Well, they were the only ranked team that played last night.
Both teams' names were one word. And both teams' name ended in N-A.
Iona and Siena.
I was going to let you give Mike a shot since you knew us. Iona and Siena. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you know about those two programs, Mike?
Oh, I know a lot about Iona. Iona Gales, for one thing. Right?
Iona what?
Yeah. That's where Jim Valvano coached until he was hired away to NC State.
What do you know about Siena?
I don't know as much about them. Siena. They've been in the big dance before.
The only thing I know, wasn't it a color in the 64 crayons that Crayola put out?
I wasn't? Okay.
Yeah.
Burnt Siena?
There is a Siena.
So do you think anybody's ever used that as a headline when they lose?
No, Patino's is Patino
Color
still
me blue when you lose.
I didn't even notice.
Iona?
I didn't even notice. I don't know. Is Patino still?
Yeah.
Is he?
Patino is still head coach.
You would have thought I'd have seen that and picked up on that. But maybe they didn't focus in on him for some reason or anything.
Could be.
Maybe he's suspended for a reason. You never know about Rick Pitino.
Well, I love the Iona's nickname, the Gales.
The Iona Gales.
G-A-E-L-S. Gales.
Siena?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Looked like a dog.
Bulldogs?
No, it didn't look like a bulldog.
St. Mary's, also the Gales?
I think you're right. St. Mary's out of
California.
Gonzaga's conference.
Yeah.
What is a Gale?
Western Athletic. I don't know. What's a Hoya? What's a Hogue?
Well, I knew
What's
what
a
Gene
hokey?
used to call it, but we can't share that.
What's a gale?
on
What's
the
a
air.
Hoya? What's a hokey?
Well, really, a gale. Only thing I know about a gale is a wind, but that's spelled differently,
They
isn't
spell it Gaels.
The team is.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
gale
it's
is
like
Gale.
Yeah, I know.
The wind.
It makes me think Gaelic,
Yeah,
but I don't.
That's a good.
I still
point.
don't know
Yeah.
if there's a mascot.
It could be derived from that.
It's the Siena Saints.
But is a dog not
Siena
their
Saints.
Mascot? I swear there was a dog on the
Um,
court, and I'm not talking about running around on the court. And speaking of running around on the court, did you guys see the
Yeah, they do have. It looks like it's a Saint Bernard.
Saint Bernard?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Saint
Yeah.
Bernard. That's neat.
Saint Bernard.
Did you guys see the DoorDash delivery at the NBA game
Yeah.
a couple nights
No,
ago?
it wasn't NBA.
Was it not NBA?
No.
What was it? Did you see it, Mike?
It was a college game.
The guy he's walking on the floor while they're playing, trying to deliver a DoorDash meal, and the referee's saying, "Get off
That's
the court."
determination.
Oh man.
Yeah, the Gales mascot looks similar to like a leprechaun, but not in green. So it's a Gaelic
It's a Gaelic
Yeah.
thing.
thing.
Good.
An
good.
Irish thing.
Yeah. Well, these are both Catholic schools, right? And you figure
Yeah.
the Irish connection.
Lenny gave me a nice fact here on Siena. What ACC coach is he currently still there, Lenny? What ACC coach? If I gave you the school, it'd be easier to get. Was at Siena before he joined the ACC.
Ooh.
ACC coach that was at Siena coaching basketball before he moved on to the ACC. I would have never got it, so I don't expect you guys to either. But Lenny's getting ready to tell me right now if it was his, if he's still at this ACC school. No, he's not.
I don't know.
No, he's not.
Get that.
I didn't think he was because, okay, let's see. Give you African American coach,
Oh,
ACC South. Does that help you any?
African American.
ACC South. Yeah, I would not have known. Like I said, straight up with you, I would not have known he was.
Georgia Tech.
Yep.
He was at Georgia Tech.
Yep.
Think of the name.
Yep.
I see, but
That's exactly. Yeah, I can too.
And then when he was at Tech, they made it to the national final one year, right? No.
I don't know if he was coaching them then. I know when you're talking about when they had what was the real good guard that was All American. That oh come on,
Yeah.
No,
he followed Crimmins. Lenny said he
Yeah,
followed
yeah.
Crimmins.
that's right.
So I guess he would have been there when they went to the Final Four. And that guard was guy had
Wasn't
shoes
Dalrymple
named after him.
because-
Yeah, no, he
No,
wasn't
it
on
wasn't
that.
Dalrymple. This
Stephon
was-
Marbury wasn't on that
Was it an
team.
Anderson?
Kenny Anderson.
Kenny Anderson.
Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah,
Lenny?
this
it
was
Kenny
way
Anderson?
after that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so. But they still had, when they went to the Final
2000
Four, they had the really great guard, though, didn't they?
2004. I think their best player was Muhammad.
Dennis.
Nah,
the
not
outside
Scott.
bomber.
Not
Wasn't
Scott.
Dennis
That was
Scott.
no, he was.
No, that was in
Clemens
the
guy.
80s.
Okay.
This was in 2004,
yeah, it wasn't
I
that
think.
long ago.
2004, 2005.
Mm.
They didn't have a star player when they went to the
Oh,
when
okay.
they went
He
to the
says
Final
Hewitt
Four.
did coach them when they went to the finals.
That's it. Paul Hewitt.
Paul Hewitt.
Yeah, coached them. But I was trying to think of the star player that was on that.
They didn't
team.
have one.
They didn't.
No.
Okay. Oh, so
It was
maybe that's what it takes.
It was a Muhammad was their best player.
Okay.
But he wasn't like
Okay.
a NBA star or anything.
Who did they lose to in the national championship?
They got
game?
routed.
UConn.
Yeah.
Was it
UConn beat Duke in the semifinal. Duke
Yeah,
blew a
beat both
10-point
of
lead with a couple minutes left.
So
Oh,
UConn
yeah.
won the ACC that year as well as the Big East, basically, right?
Yeah.
Brian Oliver is who Roger
Oliver.
says was maybe the best player on that team.
I think that's
Brian,
right.
I remember Brian Oliver. I remember that name.
They had
so
a
maybe
big
that
guy
is-
too. I can think
maybe
of
that
his
is.
name.
They had a guy. His last name was Muhammad, and he was flashy. He dunked a lot, but he wasn't like a big time NBA player. or
Was he
anything.
like 7 foot or was he like
No,
the
it's
athletic
in
guy?
between 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I remember another player too, but I'll never think of his name. And Lenny says yes, lost to UConn in that championship game. So, so you're saying who did Georgia Tech beat to get to the finals? We didn't cover that one, did we?
I don't
Jarrett
know.
Jack was the
Jarrett Jack. I remember
guard
that name.
off of that
I
team.
remember that name.
Jack.
Anthony Morrow out of Charlotte.
Yep.
He was on
Anthony
that team.
Morrow. Played in the NBA
Yeah.
for a while.
Mhm.
Who was the other one? You guys already told me that Duke lost to UConn in the semis,
Yeah.
but Georgia Tech trying to figure out who they beat to get to that.
Yeah, they
to get to that game. Had Georgia Tech been good all year? Like maybe
8-8
Final
in
Four?
the ACC.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
What I
Kind of
thought.
caught fire.
Just yeah. Which a
Yeah.
lot of teams do.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of teams do.
15-11 going into the tournament.
Wow.
God.
Wow, 15 and 11.
It doesn't say what seed they were here, but they had to be
Who did they
7
beat
or
in
8
the
seed.
Final Four?
At 15 and 11, 8 and
Played
8, you would think they were a lower seed from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to be
a
7
9
or
or
8.
worse.
Yeah,
Just from the get-go. Kentucky, Roger says.
They beat Kentucky, okay.
Is,
Whoa.
who Georgia Tech beat. Now it makes me wonder who was on that Kentucky team and how in the world. Where's Kentucky basketball at today?
Well,
Are they even ranked right now?
I don't think so. The state
You
of
know, I don't-
Kentucky's in a sad
I don't think-
state.
In a
Kentucky,
sad state.
Duke, or North Carolina. None of them are ranked right now.
So Kentucky, Louisville, Duke, Carolina.
All unranked.
Yeah, 3 of those we consider blue bloods. I don't know if we would Louisville, but they would be right on the verge.
Yeah, they're
if
on
Yeah.
the cusp of
But-
blue blood
but
status.
they haven't been real relevant lately though. When have we seen Louisville in a Final Four?
Well,
How far back do you have
Patino,
to go?
2014.
Okay.
They won it, then they had to abandon it.
And now that's 8 years ago.
Yep.
I mean, have they been to a Final Four since?
Nope.
I mean, I'm not saying Duke's been to a bunch of them either.
No.
But you think if you're going to ever get in that status, what does it take to be blue blood status? You got to go to the Final Four at least once every 4 to 5 years.
I think so.
Yeah. Is anybody
You got to
doing
have a
that right
couple
now?
national titles under your
Other than
belt.
Gonzaga?
Well, this says Georgia Tech beat Oklahoma State
Yeah.
in the Final Four.
That makes more sense.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Well, would that have been Eddie Sutton days?
Or-
Yeah, he probably was.
Yeah.
Mike, is that your phone?
Nope.
I hear voices in my head.
Not mine. I've got my volume turned completely
Is that Lanny?
down. That's Lanny. Lanny's the culprit.
I thought it was Mike's phone. Of course, Mike might be having a conversation with somebody on the phone.
No, I've got it on Facebook, so I can greet
That's
our
great.
listeners.
That's great.
No, Georgia Tech, I had the 04-05 season pulled up. So they were actually still just 9-7 in the ACC that year, but they were 23-9 going into the tournament.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
They were a little
That's not
better
bad.
than
So I'm
15,
gonna guess they
11.
were at least an
probably
eight or
probably a
above.
5, maybe around a 5 seed,
Yeah.
4 or 5.
8 or above. It'd be nice to look at that and see how, making it to the Final Four was a big deal for them at that time. It'd just be neat to see their road and did they have who all they beat and did they have?
They beat. I got it right here. They
many-
beat Northern Iowa, Boston College,
Are any of those games close?
Nevada. They won by 5, 3, 5.
Wow.
Overtime, 2, and then lost by 9 to UConn. They beat Kansas in the Elite Eight.
You know what,
Well,
Mike?
in
That would
overtime.
have rivaled NC State's cardiac pack
would.
had they won it.
That's right.
Had they
Very
won it with
close
those,
games.
with those, the biggest margin was 9.
Yeah, and it was an overtime.
Overtime
game.
9, and so what's the biggest
Or 8.
margin?
They lost by 9.
They lost by. What's the biggest margin of a regulation? 5. I
5.
heard
Yeah.
you say 5.
Very close
Yeah.
games.
That's
The first round was just 5.
wow. First round win by 5, and then go all the way to the. And the first round was who?
Northern Iowa.
Northern Iowa. Hey, they're a solid program.
Yeah, they have been
Themselves.
for a long
Northern
time.
Iowa's, yeah.
I mean, you're dangerous. They've knocked off some kingpins, some big time schools.
So Brett, tell us what the game was the other night that had DoorDash deliver courtside, or not courtside, had DoorDash.
Yeah, the guy walked
delivery.
onto the court.
Yeah. I love it.
It was like a mid-major college game.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
remember.
He was
who it
determined to make his delivery.
Yep. Yeah, probably doing it. He might have been doing that like for TV coverage.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I don't know if that game would have been on any kind of TV, but maybe the video coverage or whatever.
Sure.
Kind of strange. there for whatever reason. But nobody got injured or ran over. And as far as I know, the food was not dropped. Was it? Did they ever say who the food was for?
I didn't. All I saw was just a little clip of the guy.
Because I'm wondering if it was a player on the bench.
But I'm not going to play tonight, so I might as well get a DoorDash delivery.
Yeah. Want to share some so-and-so with me? We'll just get some nachos.
His last name was Spicoli.
Spicoli. That's very possible.
Yeah.
Very possible. Getting the pizza delivered to the classroom. I can tell you this. That still happens today.
Oh, okay. You would know. You're in the classroom.
Yeah, or very. It may not be identical, but it's pretty similar. That I'll put it this way. That's been attempted to happen.
Yeah.
Still.
Probably didn't get
still
completed.
Today. And I'm going to bet those the folks that did that didn't even know who Spicoli was.
No.
Yeah.
What year was that movie?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Oh.
Way back.
Late
80s, early 80s.
Was it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Somewhere
I
in
was
the 80s,
asking for real.
for sure.
I did not know the answer to that. I tell you what, I was saying a while ago that Brett got my own Sienna little brief trivia thing there about who was I watching. I thought it was neat that both teams' name ended in NA, and it wasn't Indiana, and it wasn't North Carolina, and it wasn't South Carolina, but it still ended in NA. But did you watch some of this? Is that how you knew? Because you flipped over the channel.
I didn't watch any, but I saw.
Lucky you.
I was actually listening to the radio yesterday, and they had a segment, a betting segment, and someone said they were going to bet on that, on the over/under or
now
something.
I wonder if they
on that
won
game.
or lost.
Yeah, I don't.
I can report that the Lobos of New Mexico did beat Air Force.
The Lobos of New Mexico. If New Mexico's the Lobos, what is New Mexico State?
Are they Aztecs?
Aztecs. No.
Well, that's San Diego.
San Diego.
It might be Aggies.
Aggies. That's it.
Might be Aggies.
Yes.
Aggies?
Yeah, and I wouldn't even thought about it till he said Aztecs, but then it
Aggies.
made me think
You got another Aggie in
there's
addition
a lot of
to
Aggies.
A&M?
Well, it's the agriculture school.
True.
A&T, North Carolina.
there's
A&T.
the Aggies
That's
all
the
over
Aggies too,
all over the land.
Yep.
It doesn't rank up there with Tigers and
No.
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs
That's
are
the top
probably
two.
the two most prominent.
Eagles.
Eagles is very popular. Even Cougars is.
Oh, yeah.
Washington
State.
Which Mike's into, is also very, very popular. 1990s was Lethal Weapon 3. Dennis Scott, Kenny Anderson, Brian Oliver played in 1990 Final Four. That comes from Lenny. That was a good team.
Yeah, with Anderson.
That was a good team. Well, yeah. Dennis Scott. I mean, did he
could bomb?
Did he win ACC Player of the Year? At one time, one of the seasons he was there. I don't know if he did or not, but it just seems like he did.
But the one that had his own shoes was Stephon Marbury. He was in the mid-90s.
So he did not go to the Final Four. I'm going to go ahead and be honest.
So.
That's the guy I was thinking of.
I don't think
That's
so.
the guy I was trying to think of.
He might have only
Marbury.
played a year.
So he was not in the Final Four. Here you go. I'll usually give these as we go to break, give people time to answer. I'm going to go ahead and throw one of my trivia questions out there. I got 3 ones that I think are.
You did your homework.
No, I didn't. I stole them. 3 that I think were pretty good. We'll start out with this one.
Made it to the Elite Eight with Marbury. Lost to Cincinnati.
Golly, remember the Bearcats being good for a time? What was the guy, the big guy that liked to fight, the stocky
Kenyon Martin.
Kenyon Martin. Yeah,
That's
he
right.
played there. Is that their best alum all time? No, Oscar Robertson would be.
Oh,
Yeah.
the big
That hit me real quick. Don't light me up now on text with that one. I remember Oscar Robertson. I don't remember him playing, but obviously I remember Oscar Robertson's. But Kenyon Martin, as far as modern day, might be the best player.
What year did Cincinnati win its only NCAA championship in basketball?
61 or 62?
You're right. I think one of those. 62.
Yeah. Well, I was giving you the season, 61, 62. I was a guess. That was a guess, but
Good job.
But I did remember it was in that time period, early 60s, and that's why. So that was their only one.
They won both.
They won both.
Yeah.
Okay. I got one up on you there, Mike. I gave you both years.
Runner-up in 63.
2.
Okay.
Well,
It don't say.
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it might be telling you who ended their run. there. I thought it might tell you
probably
that.
UCLA.
So,
when did they win their first?
So I don't guess it
64?
tells who they beat either.
Let's see.
And you had teams back then in it like Jacksonville playing in the national championship game, and
Well, I can tell you who was in it.
In the 4.
Well, let's see.
I bet Lenny remembers. Well,
I know,
I shouldn't say he
I know
remembers.
Cincinnati beat for the title.
You do? Twice?
Well, I know once.
Okay.
Loyola of Chicago.
Loyola of Chicago.
In 63, Loyola beat Cincinnati in the title game.
Wow.
Oh.
And Duke was in that Final Four. That
That's
was their
right.
first.
That's
In
right.
63.
And Oregon
Okay,
State.
so Loyola beat Cincy.
Loyola beat Cincinnati in 63.
Okay.
So now all we need is who did Cincinnati beat to win their 2 titles. And I'm going to guess it wasn't UCLA. I think they started kicking in about 68 or 69, isn't it, when they
So in 62, Wake Forest was in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Billy Packer
that's
Billy
right.
team.
Packer, point guard.
in the Final Four but didn't make the title game, did
No,
No.
it was Cincinnati beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
In
Which
62.
also had on its team, I believe,
They beat them both
the
years.
general, Robert Montgomery Knight.
they? Okay. Wow. So Cincinnati beat Ohio State back-to-back
Back-to-back years, yeah.
to win their 2
Wow,
titles, then
okay.
lost to Loyola
Loyola
of Chicago.
Chicago.
Wow. That is interesting. Well, now it is time for our timeout. It is time for our break. So here you go.
All right.
I think I want to put these in order with there's one I'm definitely saving for last. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you this one. Who was the first NFL quarterback? The first NFL quarterback with 2 career Super Bowl touchdowns rushing. Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Carson Wentz.
Some high-pitched guitar being played there. Is that you, Brett? Brett on lead guitar. Won't on up to it. It's pretty good, though.
Jimmy Page-like guitar licks.
All right, somebody's going to have to help me with some of these. We talk about so many things, and then when I get responses, we got a guess on the first quarterback with 2 rushing touchdowns in a career in Super Bowl play. And Lenny and Mike both guessed Bart Starr, so we still don't have a correct answer yet at this point. But that was a good guess because
he won the first 2.
He won the first 2. But now the only rushing touchdown I remember is the Ice Bowl, which was to get to.
That's right.
The Super Bowl.
He was not a running quarterback for sure.
Well, I hate to tell you, but the answer to this question is not a running quarterback either.
Oh.
The real answer to this question, the correct answer to this question, is not one either. Lenny says, I remember the famous quarterback sneak in NFC Championship game against Dallas last minute in the Ice Bowl. Yes, absolutely. We do remember that one. Now, here's what I need help on. Jim McMahon against Patriots. What would that be the answer? What did we ask or what did we say earlier that – and that's from Rodney. And I'm going to tell you a fact Rodney sent me.
That's probably what he's talking about. Jim McMahon, 2 rushing touchdowns.
2 rushing touchdowns.
Okay. No. I guess it is. No. That's incorrect as well. And then he says, or might have been Tarkenton when they went on that run in the 70s. No. He ran a lot, but it was mostly behind the line of scrimmage.
Scrambling.
He was running for his life.
That's right.
Well, my guess was Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's excellent guess because he runs a lot of sneaks. But
yeah, and he's played in 10 or 11 Super Bowls. But so I'm guessing it was before Brady.
Yeah, he's probably done it. But it was before him.
Who was the QB for the Raiders?
It was before him.
Boy.
Wrong.
No Raiders QB there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wrong on that one. We get a Joe Namath. Rogers guessed Joe Namath.
Yeah. Wow.
Fur coat and all, but no, he didn't. He did not.
He only was in the Super Bowl once, and he wasn't involved. He did.
That's true. That's true. And I'll give you a hint, Roger. I meant to phrase the question where you pick up on it was multiple games to get to. He didn't do two in this answer to this didn't have two in one game.
Oh.
You just now pick up on that, Mike? I
Well,
told you that earlier. I said
Yeah.
as a career, he had two
Okay.
rushing touchdowns. He was the first quarterback to get two rushing touchdowns in Super Bowl play.
Right.
Not a Super Bowl, but in Super Bowl play.
Did he win one?
His career. Did he win one? Oh, yeah. Ask if he won two.
Roger Staubach.
Nope. That's a good guess, too, because Roger would take off with
He
it.
would take off. He could run. He had, yeah. Dang.
Here's your hint. You're early.
I'm too early?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Too early.
Yep.
Joe Montana.
Bingo.
Wow.
We have a winner. Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
2 rushing touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Rodney goes back to the Patriots and the Bears. In that Patriots Super Bowl game, everybody but Walter Payton, he says McMahon 2. I'm not denying McMahon had 2, but that was after Joe Montana.
Yep.
Wasn't it? No, it wouldn't have been after Joe Montana.
No.
So somebody's wrong. Either the person that gave me that question yesterday
somebody's wrong.
Says McMahon had 2, Suey had, and the Fridge. I do remember the Fridge rushing for a touchdown because that took away from Walter Payton in that particular game. We get a Terry Bradshaw.
I got a guess on Facebook here from Brian Long.
Well, we got it right now. It's Joe Montana. But go ahead. What did
Terry
you have?
Bradshaw.
Yeah, I had Terry Bradshaw here as well from Roger, which, that's anytime you play multiple Super Bowls, it's a good guess. Terry had 4 times.
Yeah.
But Terry did not rush for. I don't know if he rushed for 1. We could probably go back and look it up. But supposedly the answer
just remember
to that
him as a drop back passer.
is Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
And I'm going to guess they were either sneaks. They weren't designed runs unless it was a sneak, or he was scrambled and scored.
Jim McMahon rushed
he wasn't
for
doing
2 touchdowns.
Did he?
Yep.
Well, I am going to email the person that gave me that.
Well, when did Joe Montana win his?
It was late 80s.
Did he win one before
what?
85?
Yeah, Montana would have been first. That's right. Because they were what year was it whenever it was early 80s. It was before. That's it. That's the key. McMahon is correct. He did rush for 2, but he wasn't first. That's what it is.
San Francisco won it the year before.
Yeah. Is that just one the year before? Only one the year before?
I don't know. I was just looking.
That would have been 84, but I'm thinking like they won it in 81 or 82.
Looking at the
as
stats.
well. I think they beat Cincinnati.
Montana had 1 touchdown in that one.
Yep. Go back about 2 or 3 years, and I think they beat Cincinnati.
Yeah, they beat Cincinnati twice, but one of them was in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the first one was around 82. Because the reason I remember is I almost won a contest. There was a contest in the Charlotte Observer where, and I was like 20. What year was it?
The 81-82 season.
So
the Super Bowl would have been in 82.
So he did one in 80. He rushed for 1 in 82, and he did it again before McMahon played. So he had 2 in 2 different games.
Yeah.
Yep. That was the whole. So my source was right. That he was the first one to get 2 rushing touchdowns in Super Bowl play.
Ken Anderson also rushed for a touchdown in that game.
Yep. Well, I was going to tell you there was a contest that year in the Charlotte Observer, and it was, I'm not lying about it, it was like week 8, halfway through the season. They had a contest. You pick the Super Bowl teams and pick the final score, and you win. I can't remember what it was at that time, maybe $500 was their gift. And I picked the 49ers to beat the Bengals.
Ooh.
And I missed the score by 1 point.
God.
And I didn't win.
Somebody got
it exact.
Bingo.
Somebody got it exact. And I've still got the article in the Observer Sports that mentioned me in there for being
runner-up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I still got it somewhere. But,
I would hope so.
But, that was very disappointing. I thought I had won that.
Yeah.
Just missing by 1 point. It's like I had 28-21, and it might have been 27-21.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right, Brett? It
was 26-21.
26-21.
Yeah.
So I must have had 27-21 because I remember missing it by 1 point and still not winning. How sad. Ned says, now this is a novel here from Ned. Y'all moved on, but some on Billy Packer info. In 74-81, NBC, Dick Enberg, and Al McGuire. Ned slept through that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just picking, Ned. 70. Let's see. NBC loses NCAA tournament to CBS.
That's right.
I guess at that same time.
Jim McMahon is the only quarterback with 2 rushing touchdowns in one game in one Super Bowl.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That wasn't a question,
though.
No.
Jim Nantz and Vern Lundquist. When Nantz was covering an NFL game or a golf tournament, I guess that's when Vern Lundquist would step in and fill in for Nantz. Lundquist was great, too.
Lundquist actually did a championship game in the NCAA tournament.
It doesn't say that. It says 1981 to 2008, CBS with Jim Nantz and Vern Lundquist when Nantz was covering an NFL game or golf tournament.
Right.
It would be him.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily say it was championship.
Not final,
game. And I can't. There's not many championship games going on Monday night.
No.
I mean golf tournaments.
No.
Many golf tournaments going on Monday night. Ned also says when I was a teen, he did ACC Game of the Week with Jim Thacker on WBTV. Do you remember also did professional putt-putt weekly TV show when putt-putt was a thing in the early 70s? I do. You could get home from church on Sunday afternoon, and the putt-putt thing would be going on.
Yeah, I saw read a column by Scott Fowler in The Observer about Packer, a day or two ago, and he mentioned the putt-putt tournament that he announced.
Are there any putt-putt courses, real, not Goonie golf and stuff like that, but are there really any real putt-putt courses still around?
That's a good question.
At one time, wasn't the one down at the campground near the lake down there, cross country?
Cross country.
Wasn't it a putt-putt?
Yeah. I think it's still
certified.
I don't think it's a PPA.
It's not a PPA.
Yeah, I bet it's not.
When I knew was in Hickory.
Mm-hmm.
Where the old movie
Hickory had them. Charlotte had them, I think, down on Woodlawn Road.
Yeah.
And used to go different places and play. But I don't even know if that still exists anymore.
I don't think
the
so.
real sanctioned putt-putt courses. And obviously they don't have them televised because if they did, one of the ESPN networks would pick up on that.
Yeah.
I mean, they picked up on axe throwing and
who do you think has the most rushing touchdowns as a quarterback in Super Bowl play?
Well, I'll go with your answer. Is it somebody we've even mentioned?
Mm-mm.
No, it ain't Brady then.
Brady, as far as I can tell, does not have any.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we see him get a lot of quarterback sneaks, but they maybe not always in the Super Bowl. So, how many does he have?
4.
Gosh.
And they all came after Montana.
Mahomes?
No.
He played in 2.
He's got 1. He just has one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They all came after
Montana.
Somebody that had to play and
this guy played. I think he played in 5.
Played in 5 Super Bowls. How many did he win?
2.
1, 2. Went 2 and 3. Same team?
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, we ought to get that, Mike.
Roethlisberger?
No.
We should get that. If you played in 5 Super Bowls and you won 2 of them, and you rushed for how many touchdowns in Super Bowl play? 3? 4?
4 different games.
Golly, that should not be.
Should not be hard.
No, it shouldn't because
4 touchdowns rushing.
It couldn't be Jim Kelly
and he did not win. He was a pretty good running quarterback.
Pretty good.
Running.
I mean, he wasn't Michael Vick, but
yeah,
who is?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you who is. Jalen Hurts. Maybe.
I don't think he runs as well as Vic.
No,
I think he's similar, but I don't think he has that blazing
not
speed.
as fast as Vic.
The blazing speed that Vic does. I'm just trying to think of who played in that many Super Bowls in that time period. Elway.
Yep, that's it.
Elway. Oh yeah.
Elway. That's my guess. As soon as I saw Denver on my thing, I said, "That's who played in
he
that."
He was pretty good running.
Yes, he was. I would say he was an excellent running quarterback. Yep. And he's a big guy too. He was. You know, some of those D-backs really didn't want to take on that contact.
He wasn't quite as big as Roethlisberger, maybe, but he was pretty big.
I should have got that because my first answer to that trivia question earlier was Elway.
Yeah.
I mean, that was because I wouldn't have got it with Montana either. I'll just go ahead and tell you, I wouldn't have got that. Listening to that because Montana was obviously more known for his arm than his legs.
Yeah.
But I'll bet you, I would just about bet they were both scrambling instead of not even a sneak because you had Roger Craig on most of those. You had Rathman at fullback.
Yeah,
you're just
right.
usually going to give it to Craig behind Rathman, and then take a chance on getting Montana hurt. I just maybe.
Yeah, I bet it was scrambling.
I would just think it was.
Well, the
scrambles.
Montana's in '82 says it was a 1 yard run.
Yeah,
but, I mean that's still yeah.
It makes you think it was a sneak.
Yeah,
but it could have been a scramble.
But they didn't have Roger Craig in '82.
No, they didn't. Nope.
I don't know who they're running.
They might have had Bill Ring. When did Ring come along? Like the fullback, Bill Ring. Remember that name?
I don't.
And I don't remember who the who would have been their feature back then, Brad, before Roger Craig.
I don't know whoever it was didn't score a touchdown.
Yeah.
I just have the scoring summary. And Montana's other one was a 6 yard run.
That could have been a scramble.
Yeah. Yeah, it had to be because you know they didn't design him.
No, he's not doing run-pass option.
And the only way it could have been a sneak if it was like maybe 3rd and 1 from the 6.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something like that.
And then he also threw 3 touchdowns in that game, 1 to Carl Monroe and 2 to Roger Craig.
Well, speaking of the 49ers, last week they beat the Cowboys. Cowboys now making big-time changes to their staff, not necessarily
not head coach,
not the leaders, neither coordinator. Of course, one coordinator could possibly leave if he gets another job, and that would be Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
Yeah, but one job he already interviewed for that's been filled.
Yep,
with
Carolina.
Frank Reich here in Charlotte. Let's see. Wonder if the famous Elway touchdown spinning like a helicopter after he got hit on the goal line was in the Super Bowl. Yes, it was. That was in the Super Bowl. I think against Atlanta. Was that the Atlanta when he did that one? When he got hit and spun around?
I remember that, but I
still
can't
show it
remember
today
it
on some of the
I'm
highlights.
pretty sure it was in the Super Bowl.
When it's Super Bowl time. But here we go. I'll go ahead and throw out question number 2 that I've got for you here at 8:48 a.m. I had to give some people some time to answer before. When was the last time and who was it that a running back was named most valuable player in the Super Bowl? Running back. When was the most recent running back?
Can I give my guess?
Most recent running back that win MVP in a Super Bowl. Why don't you hold on just a minute and see if we get any answer. Give them a chance, and then I'll let you say yours before I read theirs. How about that?
Good enough. Good enough.
Good enough. So far, nothing shining up on. You might get some on Facebook as well, and then that might change your mind.
Nobody's.
Don't change your mind though.
Nobody's
keep the one in mind that you've got.
Yet.
Rodney Willis says, and Rodney, I don't know for sure if he won MVP of the Super Bowl. You'll have to tell me. He had a lot of yards. Redskins, Timmy Smith.
Oh yeah, he did have a lot of yards.
That goes back
200 yards, I believe, or more.
That goes back a ways, but you remember when he played, so that's not the most recent.
That's right.
That's not
80s. Right?
How do you know it's not right? How do you know it's right? Mike's over there like so he knows in his head he is correct because he just told me that was what I said was right. Because I said it tells you it was after him, and Mike said that's right. No more guesses coming in here? Mike, go ahead and throw me your guess out there.
Emmitt Smith?
Nope.
Oh, ouch.
Nope. Nope and nope. Most recent running back.
Yeah, well, my first guess was going to be too long ago, I think.
Well, say who that was.
Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even know if he won MVP.
He had a huge game that night. I can't imagine he didn't.
Yeah, for the Raiders.
Against the Redskins at that time. But no, this is more recent.
More recent.
Yeah, more recent.
More recent than Emmitt.
Than that one. Yep. You don't have to go back that far.
Well,
yeah. For some of our younger audience, you still go back that far. Brett, I'll put it this way: Brett would remember the game.
Okay.
Of course, did you remember the Timmy Smith game? Do you remember?
No.
That one when he had all those yards or whatever.
No.
Well,
or you just remember of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't remember watching it or anything, but you remember of it.
Last running back.
Did you know a team last night in the NBA scored 131 points?
That's a lot.
And lost.
No.
See, I remember
Milwaukee beat Indiana 141-131.
When the Redskins won the Super Bowl, the first one I remember when they beat Denver, it was Doug Williams had a huge game.
Yeah,
and that might be the same game that Smith had all those yards.
Didn't Doug Williams get MVP?
I think he did.
Well, the quarterback is usually going to get MVP unless somebody really shines. We've had a couple defensive MVPs. I think Harvey Martin maybe one time along with Randy White were co-MVPs in the Super Bowl for Dallas, if I remember right on that. But
didn't the Dallas DB get it?
Because he had, and then
didn't do anything.
Then he disappeared. Larry Brown. Then he disappeared. Well, that's because he was Neil O'Donnell's favorite target that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that game,
through two right
when the Redskins beat the Broncos, Timmy Smith had 204 yards and 2 touchdowns, but Doug Williams had 340 yards and 4 touchdowns.
They scored 35 in the second quarter.
Yeah.
They were down
10-0, yeah.
And scored 35 in the second quarter. That's a tough way to go to the locker room.
Yeah.
If you're Denver.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I do
then
remember
Doug
that
Williams won the MVP.
Right. Yeah, well, that only makes sense.
Last running back.
Yeah, the last running back to win MVP in the Super Bowl is now, Rodney, I want to know honestly, did you look it up? Because he got it.
Did he?
Yep. Did you look it up? And we should start giving the answers before people have time to look them up, but we'll take his word.
I assume
it
was in the 2000s.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. If I remember correctly.
I know now.
Roger says Terrell Smith.
That's right. Isn't it?
Davis.
Yes.
Terrell Davis.
Oh, Davis. That's
and Rodney got it. Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis.
With the Broncos.
Remember, I don't know if you remember or not, had migraines, didn't even know he'd be able to play or not.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
As they compare it to like Jordan with the flu.
That was
anytime Jordan's got the flu, he's going to score 60.
Late 90s.
Late 90s.
Yep.
And that was their first. They won back to back.
They won back to back. They beat Green Bay and Atlanta. I don't remember which one
I don't either.
I would think Elway won it against Atlanta. It seemed like he had a big game.
I am glad to see that Elway won one. That's for sure. Because to be quite honest with you, out of all the quarterbacks out there, and I know this is debatable, and nobody has to. Yeah, Roger said he meant Davis. Nobody has to agree with me. But if I picked any quarterback out of the NFL to be my guy, Elway would be my first choice because of everything he could do. And had he had defenses like Tom Brady had defenses,
not a one more.
They might.
Yeah,
they would have won more. He did not have a really good defense. He had to try and outscore you, and a lot of times
Elway won MVP against Atlanta.
That was their second one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Terrell Davis won it against Green Bay.
And does it have Davis's stats? Or did you say those?
It will have them. Let's see.
Who was the Green Bay quarterback?
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
You ever heard of him?
I think I have.
Yeah, Terrell Davis, 157 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Ned says Bob Lilly also won MVP, D lineman for the Cowboys in a Super Bowl loss. That's impressive. A defensive guy wins it in a loss.
That's true.
Elway, that
score was 3-2.
Game against Green Bay, only 12 for 22, 123 yards and an interception.
Not a good day.
Well, they shut down one phase of the game, but they didn't shut down the run. What was Davis's again?
157, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's in a Super Bowl. That's definitely MVP worthy.
That's true.
Yeah. With all the Bronco talk, I thought y'all might be giving a clue. Well,
but Favre had a great game.
Rodney. It wasn't really meant to be that way for us to be talking about the Broncos, but yeah, that did help. I totally understand that we were talking about the Broncos. Got one left, and I'm going to save it for the final segment of the show.
And I have one too.
The final segment of the show. We'll give yours when we come back from our next break. Let's talk a little bit while we've got time here. High school basketball. Last night, I'm gonna let Mike start. He saw a very close game last night. The Battle of the North Lincoln, North Iredale.
Scorebook here.
At North Lincoln went into last night's matchup with North Iredale in second place in the Western Foothills 3A Conference, trailing Hickory by 2 games. Nobody's probably going to catch Hickory because now Hickory, after last night, has a 3-game lead on everybody in the conference. But North, with the loss last night, Mike and Brett, falls into a tie with East Lincoln now in second place, and North holds the head-to-head right now, but they will play again later in the season. So what you got, Mike?
Yeah, packed house last night at North Lincoln. Unfortunately, I had to sit on the same side of the bleachers as the North Iredale cheerleaders, who took up 5 rows and pounded the bleachers all night with their feet. But that's another story.
That's high school basketball right there, Mike.
If you'll know, and David and Brett, you both know, when the scorers tables at most high school gyms are about 5 feet long.
Yeah, they don't.
There's no accommodation for the media.
There's not
whatsoever.
There's not.
So you got to sit wherever you can sit. But anyway, it was a really good ball game. North Iredale opened up 6-0 lead. North Lincoln had to call a timeout. It was 28-17 at the half. North Iredale. North Lincoln did close the gap. Had a big third quarter. Got 7 points out of guard Connor Carson that quarter, and then fourth quarter was close. North Lincoln got within 2 or 3 times in the final couple minutes. They just couldn't get that one shot. Big story was the play of Beckham Tharp for North Iredale. He's about 6'6".
Like the name.
Yeah. He had 31 points. I mean, it was a battle of North Iredale's physicality and inside power versus North Lincoln's more of a finesse team, outside shooting team. And he just had his way. North Lincoln didn't have an answer for him. At one point in the second half, he made 8 straight free throws. And then and he had 11 points in the first quarter to give North Iredale a boost. But
does
again,
6'6" stand out this day and time? Does a 6'6" guy really stand out?
No.
I didn't think so either.
Not much.
You got to be about 6'8" or more for you.
If you've seen North Lincoln play, you know they really don't have that much of. They're mainly a perimeter team.
Yeah.
You know, they got a lot of forwards and guards.
But they do have a big guy.
Yeah. Kellen Carr. And he's really good too. He had 17 points, just a sophomore, and kind of led the comeback. He and Carson in the second half for North Lincoln. And again, they had a chance down 53-51. He had 2 shots at the goal in the closing seconds, but couldn't get anything to fall.
Anything in the paint on those 2 shots, or were they?
Yeah, when one of them had a good look, but Tharp blocked the shot. But let me see. Oh, big stat for North Lincoln. Ty Sanders, who I'm sure you know, compiling stats, has led them in scoring. He didn't score until the 3:10 mark of the third quarter. He hit 2 foul shots. He didn't make his first field goal of the game until the 2:58 mark of the fourth quarter. So,
do you recall what kind of defense North Iredale was in?
I'm trying to remember.
I just wonder if they were.
He had some open.
Wasn't boxing one though.
I don't think it was a boxing one. But he had some open looks. He just could not get it going, and I think that really hurt them because he's one of their top scorers.
Right.
He probably is their top scorer.
Yeah, you need at least 10 out of him.
Yeah, and
15.
they get
single digits.
He only had 4 points.
4. Wow.
So there you go.
And they beat North Iredale the first time, I'm guessing?
I'm pretty sure they did.
North Iredale's a good ball club. They almost they took East Lincoln to the limit.
They play East Lincoln tough every time.
They do. They're well coached. They're physical. They're definitely they're on a given night they could beat. Well, they did beat North Lincoln last night, and they could make some noise in the tournament.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody's going to beat Hickory.
That's what I was going to say. Could they challenge Hickory? And I don't know if they've already met both times or not. But
physically they might be able to, because doesn't Hickory have some size in the paint? I haven't seen them.
I haven't either. But I would imagine.
I think they are pretty big.
Yeah. So,
but I think their best player is a sophomore point guard.
But anyway, I think Hickory's going to win it. You still got a 3-game lead right now in the standings.
They have a 3-game.
Yeah, they're definitely going to win that.
Yeah,
regular season. But I think the tournament, especially the semifinals, will be interesting.
Yeah, there's 4 quality teams in this league.
Yeah.
North Lincoln, East Lincoln, North Iredale, and of course Hickory.
All right.
Yeah, North Lincoln beat North Iredell 69-66 the first time they played.
Yeah.
So a 3-point game there, a 2-point game. They both won on the other's home court.
And
so.
doesn't East Lincoln still have to go to North Iredell before the regular season ends?
Yeah.
That'll be a
Yeah.
toughie.
So
Wow.
North Iredell is at Hickory next Tuesday,
Yeah.
and then East Lincoln at North Iredell the following
That'll
Tuesday.
be an interesting week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's weird? North Iredell lost to Ford the first time,
That's hard to find.
and then they beat Ford by 38 the second time.
How do you figure that one?
Change coaches after
Maybe
that
they were
first-
missing some players.
Change
or
coaches
something.
after that first thing.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't either. It almost has to be missing players.
Gotta
if
be.
if it's that big a turnaround, you lose, then you win
Yeah.
by 30-some.
Maybe Beckham Tharp didn't play. No, I can figure.
I don't know. Bend it like Beckham, I guess. But that
I'll say one thing about North
amazing
Iredell,
turnaround.
and I've seen them on the road twice. Their fans come out. I mean, they
North Iredell did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they really
good.
come out
That's
on
good.
the road.
You know, they knocked Hickory out of the playoffs last year at Hickory.
Yep.
Wow.
They used to have a great girls program.
Yeah.
Mike will remember back in
Yeah, that's right.
80s, 90s, they were dynamite
Right.
in girls
That's
basketball.
right.
And may have even won a state title in girls. I can't remember that right off the top of my head, but they were always.
The other big
always
news
good.
in the Western Foothills is the East Lincoln girl.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
God.
Now. 20-0. I
They
think
had a
they've hit.
close game, except for the tournament.
And it
right?
was 10.
10.
It was still 10. They beat the fourth ranked in the Charlotte Observer Sweet 16 Mallard Creek by 10. So, you know
They
that.
haven't been challenged in the
No.
conference and won't be,
No,
I don't think.
No, last night they. Well, I'm pretty sure they were in the 60s last night at halftime.
I think the final was 80
was
something
bad.
to 16
Yeah, it
or
was bad.
12 or something.
It was
like
bad.
Speaking
But at
of
least,
bad, what
at least
about
he does call off the dogs, and you know,
Right.
second half I'm sure he played a lot of
Oh,
people
yeah,
because
I'm sure
they
he
scored
did.
single digits both quarters.
that. Oh, yeah.
Central Cabarrus boys?
They're rolling too.
50-4 at halftime last night.
50-4
50 to 4.
over a public school.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's tough. That's real tough.
I think it was one of the Roans.
Going through the high school scoreboard here, I'm going to go with what my man Lenny sent me first. Girls basketball last night. West Lincoln girls defeated Bunker Hill 58-34.
Having a good year.
Carolina Robinson, 18 points, 17 rebounds. So nice double-double. Not just barely making a double-double either. 18 points, 17 rebounds. Chloe Norman had 17 points, 6 steals, 5 assists
Nice.
in that Lady Rebels win last
I
night.
think the West Lincoln girls
the
are
Hill.
what, third or fourth in the conference, maybe tied for third.
I can pull that up, but it messes up my whole scoreboard. Lenny may know the answer to that, but
I'll
we
just
will
go over here
if
and
we
get
have
a
time.
Times
I'll
News.
get it.
If we, yeah, I had the standings in there.
You had the standings
That's right.
in there yesterday.
It's right over there.
Yep.
We'll get it at the break. Or Brett's going to look it up right now, see where they are. As I try to get started on this scoreboard, he can just jump in whenever he needs to. Oak Hill, National Power last night, 92 points. They lose to Elevation Prep Academy, 101-92. I bet that was an exciting game to watch.
Elevation Prep.
Elevation Prep.
I wonder if that's associated with the church organization.
Mike, I could not tell you, my man.
Yeah.
And you know Oak Hill has multiple teams. That might
Yeah.
not have been their top, their national team.
Well, Elevation Prep also, though, could be some from another state. I mean, you just never know. I don't know where they're from. And there's schools like that I don't know, it seems like they pop up every day. Community School of Davidson beat Mountain Island Charter 70-49. This is the boys' scoreboard here that we're on at this time.
This shows West Lincoln girls are tied with Maiden for third place
Okay.
at 6-4.
And Lenny, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Maiden won the first head-to-head meeting between West and Maiden, and they've already played twice.
Yep.
And it says
I think they've already
Newton
played
is
twice.
8-2. So East Berks beat them twice already?
Maybe so.
Because, surely nobody else
Nah.
beat Newton.
One of them might have been last night. One of them could have been last night.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
59-57,
And
East Berks.
And there you go.
Good
That means they
game.
beat them twice then.
Once in overtime.
Honestly, when I get on
Once
down through
by
the
two.
scoreboard, I might as well go ahead and tell you now. conference championship's pretty much been sewn up in
Yeah.
boys and girls. East Burke with that win has a 2-game lead and the tiebreaker with what to go, 4 maybe?
4 games.
Yep. And Maiden's boys fell last night to West Caldwell,
So they're down 2
64-62.
games.
They're down 2 games as well.
Yeah.
Played them to a 2-point game last night,
Mm-hmm.
closer than last time, closer than they played them at home, but still came up on the wrong end. And so West Caldwell will also be hard to knock out of that as well.
There should be some good championship games in that conference in the tournament if the top seeds make it to the championship.
Lenny says the Lincoln girls had a big win last night, beating Bandy's 52-29. I thought they might win. I didn't ever think it would be that margin.
Wow.
23-point win. And East Burke did defeat Newton again, like Brett said, 59-57 last night. So that's, of course, they'll probably meet each other. I mean, no knock here, Lenny, but they'll probably, they're projected to meet each other in the tournament finals.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We'll see if that happens.
Is there
down the
anybody
road and which way.
capable of knocking either one of those teams off en route? I don't know either.
I don't know. I don't know.
Based on Newton's scores against all the other conference teams?
Probably not.
No.
Yep.
Oh, double-digit wins, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And East Burke's probably would be too.
They had a
That's the case.
9-point win over Bandy's.
Okay.
Newton did.
Okay.
But, yeah, everything else, 20 or more.
I'm going to work the way through the scoreboard here quickly, and then we'll take our second time out.
I want to brag about my team, too, as we move through this.
Cherryville?
Yep.
Beat Bessemer? Did I see that
Overtime.
right? They beat Bessemer last night. That's a
Overtime.
huge
Wow.
win.
Huge
Yeah.
win.
I saw that earlier. I was going to save it and get to it, but since that was a huge win for Cherryville to beat
One thing that's
Bessemer.
helped Cherryville in the last week or so, Landon Hahn, the outstanding baseball player, is back in the lineup.
Okay.
He had an injury, so they're better than they were.
Well, they definitely got the boost they needed last night because
No doubt.
Bessemer City's good. I mean,
Yeah,
they've already beat-
that's surprising.
It is. Surprised me. It was at Bessemer, too.
Yeah. Crest beat Stuart Kramer 76-63. Let's see. Davidson Day loses to Hickory Christian 55-31. Is Hickory Christian? That's not where the young man from
L.J.
Lincoln,
Smith.
Is that where he's playing?
Hickory Christian. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
What'd you say about him?
They beat Davidson Day 55-31.
Yeah, Davidson Day's pretty bad.
Are they?
Yeah.
Let's see. Orange County beat Cedar Ridge 72-44. Huff beat Westmeck. Huff beat Westmeck 65-32. Richmond County over Hoke County 70-40. Like numbers like that, it's easy just to roll right off your tongue. 70-40. Why can't they all in tens? Let's see what else we got. Whiteville over East Columbus 45-41. Harding over Berry Academy 60-53. Kings Mountain with a win over North Gaston. Maybe I don't know enough about these teams, but this surprises me. Just 6 point
It's that
win.
close.
Yeah.
Kings
Me
Mountain's
too.
not
55-49.
real good, I don't think.
Okay. 55-49 in that. Patton beats East Rutherford 68-54. West Forsyth over Glenn 78-55. Ardrey Cale, Myers Park beats Ardrey Cale 57-49. Tarboro, not the same as they are in football. Riverside Martin 79, Tarboro 37. 42-point win for Riverside Martin. Andrews 59, Cherokee 47. Eastern Randolph Wheatmore, no score reported from last night. Marvin Ridge and Sun Valley likewise, no score. Brett already mentioned Central Cabarrus last night wins 89-32 over South Rowan. North Mac beats Mallard Creek 66-40. North Wilkes falls to West Wilkes. West Wilkes wins 72-68. East Mac beats Butler 62-57. I've seen East Mac play. I was very impressed with the team they put on the floor. Ledford over Central Davidson 48-47 last night. Hopewell 72, West Charlotte 61. Monroe falls to Parkwood 51-48. Mike talked about this one. North Iredale beating North Lincoln 53-51 last night in Pumpkin Center. Salisbury beat South Davidson 82-46. Moorhead over West Stokes 59-66. West Stanley 74. Forest Hill 62. East Lincoln boys, they finally, after losing 2 straight, they get back on track last night.
Right.
Or they may have won Tuesday night. I might have my days mixed up.
This is their second straight win.
85-38 last night over West Iredale. I just feel so bad for West Iredale. I think they've won 1 game
I think
combined,
they beat
girls
didn't
girls
East
and
play
boys.
Statesville earlier in the week?
Yeah, that's it. That's right. That's who they beat.
Even more amazing to me is Statesville's basketball program.
Yep.
You figure with the athletes they have.
Not quite been the same over the last couple of years, has it, Mike?
No, it hasn't.
Lake Norman Charter 72, East Rowan 46. Porter Ridge beats Cuthbertson 57-51. Let's see what else we got. Hickory defeats St. Stephen's 68-49. Good rivalry game there in Hickory last night. Looks like that one was played at St. Stephen's last night. A lot of scores without reports from last night.
Yeah, I know.
Independence beat Garinger 67-62. Ashboro 81, Oak Grove 63. We won't cover those eastern scores to try and save a little time. Piedmont 66, Weddington 51. Lincoln Charter defeats Christ the King 64-54.
One thing, David,
10-point win.
Lincoln Charter, they're leading their conference, right?
Yes, undefeated, 9-0.
And so are the girls leading the conference.
They are. Lenny says, back to hit the girls' basketball for a minute. We have the luxury of playing Newton Conover after a loss to East Burke for the second time this year.
Ooh.
So that's who they'll play. Fiery Red Devils team, right? That'll be tough.
They're pretty good.
Here you go, Mike. Boys last night. Statesville, 54. Fred T. Ford, 47. So the Greyhounds do get a win last night.
Greyhounds get a win.
Mount Pleasant beat Albemarle 70-52. Thomasville over West Davidson 67-27. I'm surprised by a lot of these scores under 40 points, and some of them well under 40 points
that's low.
in the game. Hendersonville beats Chase 75-31. Cape Fear, Mike, 71st beats them 84-64.
Max Cady not happy
last night. Yeah, a thumping by the Falcons. I'm guessing that's the Falcons. Fayetteville 71st is the Falcons. Rocky Mount beats Nash Central 75-37. Charlotte Catholic 78. Rocky River 41. Charlotte Catholic with a chance, Brad, of winning 4A?
No,
too many good teams.
Yeah.
They are a good team, though.
They are good, but the teams like North Mac.
They don't have a number beside their name, though.
Yeah.
Olympic beat, and Olympic does have a number, 15th in the state overall, 80-41 over Palisades last night in that contest. Lake Norman 70, West Cabarrus 56. Shelby 60, Highland Tech 34. Ashbrook over Forest View 49-45. Reedsville beats Walkertown 88-63. I don't guess you've seen anything on that one, have you, Brett? You're usually checking on them Reedsville team. Are they undefeated?
I think so.
Yeah, I was thinking like they might be, but I wasn't sure. In boys, Newton Conover boys beat East Burke 56-44. Got to mention this real quick because a lot of people don't know. Lincoln got a big win on Tuesday night. It's been well publicized.
Saw the video on that one.
Half-court thrver to beat Newton Conover.
It was actually
on Tuesday night by Ian Stansel.
Stansel took the inbounds in the forecourt. He actually launched it before he wasn't quite at the half-court line.
And he had hit 2 free throws to send it to overtime.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Watauga beats South Caldwell 65-45 last night. Any more West scores on the board here? Yes, Ashe County. Alexander Central beats Ashe County 56-42 last night, the win for Alexander Central. Bunker Hill beats West Lincoln last night. Pretty tight game, 56-47 in that Bunker Hill.
Didn't West Lincoln win that one handily the last
Seemed like they did. Let's see. Triton, I'll give this one only because I've been there. Westover beat Triton 63-53. West Henderson beat Pisgah 60-50. And maybe the biggest game of the night, at least locally, it's definitely the biggest game of the night. West Caldwell knocks off Maiden for the second time 64-62
One
last
note
night.
on that from
in that
Brian
one.
Long. West Caldwell won at the buzzer.
Did they
Brian
really?
says.
Was it a 2 or a 3?
He doesn't say. He
That's
just
what
says
were they?
won at the
I'd like to
buzzer.
know if they were behind
I know.
when they made that shot. Lincoln 58, Bandy's 50 in boys last night. I think Lincoln after a quarter was 21-1. Is that what you said?
21-1.
Yeah,
21-1.
21-1.
That's 2 times in 3 games they've held an opponent to 1 point in a quarter. Mountain Heritage, Avery County, no score, but I'm guessing Mountain Heritage was the heavy favorite in that. Surrey Central beat Elkins 72-34. Drawn beats Madison 56-38. South Point over Hunter Husk. Get this one, Mike. 82-58
Wow.
last night.
I bet the big center, the Notre Dame recruit, had a good night on that one.
Winning handily over
And Husk
Hunter
beat them
I
the
thought they
first time.
did. Yeah, they did. Mount Airy beat Starmount 62-49. Smoky Mountain over Irwin 75-48. AC Reynolds over Asheville 65-33. South Stokes beats East Wilkes 70-48. Tuscola, East Henderson beats Tuscola by 40, 81-41 in that one. Freedom over High Brighton 62-52. That's a battle of good teams there in that one. TC Roberson over Inca. That's a big win for Roberson. Inca losing 72-69. I think Inca might be the only team that's beat Hickory this year.
Okay.
I want to check that out. See if I got that. I won't call it a fact yet, but I think that's who Hickory lost to. Kinston beat Southwest Onslow 72-38. One more. T.W. Andrews beat North Forsyth 77-51. That rounds out your high school basketball scoreboard for last night. We're going to take a break. Lenny says shout out to Scott Rowland and Fred McGriff for being inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. 2 guys, I think both well deserving, in my opinion.
Although on talk shows, I heard a little pushback about Rowland.
Yeah, they keep questioning that, but if you look at his overall stats and his overall game, it's pretty doggone good. Tell you that right now. And guess what? If he didn't put Rowland in, we would have had nobody going in because McGriff was the senior guy that's getting in to the Baseball Hall of Fame. So, we
How
would
about
have
Jeff Kent? Didn't he expired his eligibility?
and he should be in as well, in my opinion. He should be in as well.
That's what some
because
people
of his
have been
bat.
saying.
Yeah, because of his bat. He wasn't great on defense,
Right.
but to me, he just had a Hall of Fame bat. We thank you for tuning in. Mike's going to give his trivia question here as we go to break. We'll see if we get some answers. What you got, Mike?
Okay. Of all the professional leagues, that being the Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL, and the NHL, there's one team whose nickname is a literary reference.
There you go. Give it to Mike, the English professor, to come up with that. We'll try and guess that. Out of the 4 major sports, hockey, baseball, football, basketball, pros, one of them is
I said a reference, a literary reference.
a literary reference. We'll take a timeout. Want to throw this out there. Mike Painter says Inca beat Hickory 71-68 back in December, September 6th. So that is Hickory's only loss. My memory works a little bit every now and then. All right, somebody give us an answer. We're going to take a break. Back in a minute.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Oh my goodness, we got answers rolling in.
We do.
And Mike's gonna have to check out. He might be proven wrong. Mike's answer was, to your trivia question, out of the 4 major sports, the question, one of the mascots is a literary reference.
The Baltimore Ravens. From
The
the
Ravens.
Raven, the poem by
But
Edgar Allan Poe.
I've got answers here, and you're gonna have to prove them wrong. That say the Kraken in Seattle
All right.
might be a literary
We
reference.
gotta do some Yeah, there's some research on the word kraken, obviously.
Well,
You know what it is, right? Like a sea monster.
the team's name comes from the mythical kraken of Scandinavian folklore and its resemblance to the native giant Pacific octopus, which is found.
So not necessarily.
Maybe not a literary reference.
Yeah,
just
right.
yeah.
I'm thinking strictly literary.
And then Lenny says, I'm going to say the Minnesota Wild. Now, there's a lot of wild in. The first thing came to my mind, Brett, what was that movie you had me watch a couple years ago? Into the Wild.
Into the Wild?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
But that's got nothing to do with Minnesota.
Yeah. But wild is a good guess.
There's the Call of the Wild.
And another reason.
Call of the Wild.
Another reason, I don't know whether it was true, but the name Ravens, Edgar Allan Poe was from Baltimore. I mean,
yes. Oh, yes.
He died in Baltimore.
He died in Baltimore,
yeah.
Actually.
That's, and that's, I know that's why they got the name was because,
quote the raven nevermore, right?
What's the difference in a raven and a crow?
Yeah, they look alike, don't they?
I don't know. I mean, it's not a trick question. I'm not going to give you an answer. I want to know what's the difference between a raven and a crow. Size? Is it bigger? Is it because I don't know. What else do we have there? Roger also had said the Ravens as the literary reference. So got a couple answers that Mike was looking for.
Yeah.
But I just wondered. Now it makes me wonder about the kraken. Not so much the wild. I don't think that was.
I'm gonna have to dismiss that.
It's just because Minnesota, the state, I guess, has a lot of wild, and that's where it got the name. But,
Kraken. I don't know unless we could produce a literary work about the kraken.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there's isn't that a brand of alcohol, Brett? Kraken.
Rum.
Yeah, is it rum? Yep. There you go. Notice I went to Brett for the alcohol question.
Yeah, funny thing.
That'd be interesting to know so just folklore that there is something like that exists and or does it? I guess that's the question. Is it?
Well, yeah.
Does the Loch Ness monster exist?
Oh, that's mythic. Legend, I guess, right?
I don't know. I'm asking the question.
Sound
like you are too because you ended that with a question.
You could almost call that folklore in a way.
Well, dinosaurs are folklore.
Oh my goodness! Hey,
Sullivan he'll perk up when you say dinosaur.
Rodney says, "Okay, so I kind of did guess right on the raven. Same family as the crow, but they're bigger. So
okay,
maybe yeah."
And ravens also talk because in the poem they say nevermore a lot.
You mean all those birds that are in Baltimore are just up there talking? Well, I don't know if I believe that, Mike, pal. He says both are highly intelligent birds. Yeah, sometimes I wonder if crows are intelligent.
They always seem to be hovering around where there's food. Yeah. So
might also like where there's a gun aimed at them.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. Yeah. That's an interesting thing there is I would like to know how they came up in Seattle with the name Kraken now. I mean, I know what it's from. It's from that mythical creature.
Yeah.
But is there writings of that? And that's,
I'm going to do some research on that.
Evidently not because, of course, you had the trivia question at Country Club, I guess.
No, Brick Tree Brewing.
Brick Tree Brewing.
Mm-hmm.
And usually those, they get theirs from somebody. They don't come up with them, They get theirs from somebody. And
although
so what if the question's 3 years old? Because the Kraken's only been in the league, maybe 2?
I'll have to mention that to Allison, who does trivia next week.
Ask her if Kraken comes from.
I will.
Yeah, from.
She usually does pretty good research, but she might have missed this one.
Rodney says their friends are always calling car. I guess he's trying to give me a sound of crows. Crows can make some. What are? Okay, do crows do anything bad for humans, or for nature, or do they do anything good for humans and for nature? I just wonder what their purpose is, if they have one. Of course, you could ask the same about us.
They eat insects. I don't know.
That's a bat.
Yeah.
Bats eat insects.
Okay.
But I don't know how much. I can't answer that. I don't know if they do anything good for the sake of mankind.
Well, do crows? Do they eat roadkill? I mean, I don't know.
I think they do, but not as much as the old vultures and buzzards and stuff like that. But I guess they do. I mean, yourself, you've gone down the road and there'd be a crow.
Yeah, that's right.
On some food there. So
that's a service, I suppose. I don't know.
Siena beat Iona last night, 70-53. In case you were wondering about the game we were talking about a little earlier. Wow. So we did miss a death. Lenny sends me, speaking of recent deaths, it wasn't this week, but drummer Robbie Bachman of BTO died a couple weeks back. So it wasn't this week, but a couple weeks back. And I do remember hearing that.
I do too.
Now that he said that.
Bachman Turner over there.
Yep. So he was the Bachman. What was Turner's first name? Do you have any idea? Or was it Turner something?
I don't know.
Because I don't know.
Well, two giants this in January alone. Jeff Beck, the guitarist, and of course David Crosby.
And this Bachman,
Fred Turner.
Fred Turner. I'd sit here all day and probably would not have went with Fred. This Bachman also, I know Brad will remember this. He's got a son named Ty. What is it? Tao.
Well, there were
T-A-L?
multiple Bachmans in Bachman Turner.
Oh, so we don't know. We don't know if that's his son or not.
Randy Bachman was the lead singer.
Yeah, I think that's who.
So that's probably
Tao
the dad
belonged
of
to.
yeah.
What is their signature song in your view?
Taking Care of Business.
Yeah, that's me.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
That's which I may like that one better, but Taking Care of Business is their, I mean, it's a stadium anthem too. If you think about it. Like after teams win, they'll play that.
Yeah, it's a jock rock. Yeah.
It is. The Corvids. Oh my goodness! Now we're gonna get a science lesson here from Rodney. The Corvids: ravens, crows, jays, magpies. And oh god, he's got one here I'm not even going to be able to say.
Magpies.
Anytime it starts with PS, the first two letters are PS.
Oh boy.
I'm going to say with citizens. Citizens, and leave the P silent. And Rodney can tell me how bad wrong I am. PSITTACINES. Pitacines, pitacines.
Sounds about right.
Pitifuls. The parrots, macaws, and cockatoos fall under that category, are often considered the most intelligent birds and are among the most intelligent animals in general. So there you go.
The cockatoos,
you've had your, a lot of those can talk.
Yeah.
All those they repeat what they hear.
So
do we, though.
Don Revels sent me a little bit of info on crows. And then he added, the show has gone sideways.
It has.
It says a crow.
We've been going sideways a lot.
But we like the black crows.
We do.
A crow family can eat 40,000 grubs, caterpillars, army worms, and other insects in one nesting season.
That's beneficial.
That's a lot of insects many gardeners and farmers consider pests.
Yeah, grub is a pest. I've had them in my yard.
Yeah, they'll kill your grass.
So that's what a crow can do good for thee.
Yeah.
Well, that was my question. That answers it. That's what I wanted to know.
Wasn't there a movie once called The Crow? Sort of a
movie? Yeah, The Crow. With
Albert Hitchcock had what? The Birds?
The Birds.
And it might have been crows.
They did. A lot of them did look like. Yeah, there were some.
A lot of them did? Yeah. Well, the rest look like cockatiels, penguins. Is penguin a bird? Sure can't fly.
Yeah,
Sullivan's looking at me. Is penguin a bird? Yeah, he says yeah. I'm going to go with it.
Or is it a mammal? No, it's a bird. Okay.
But it can't fly. It's not the only bird that can't fly, though.
Right.
Never seen an ostrich fly.
No.
That I know of. A couple sports-related comments here. This is from Ned, I do believe. Dale Murphy greater than Scott Rowland, in his opinion. I'll agree with that. I think Murphy should be in the Hall of Fame as well if he's not. NHL Seattle Kraken with the question mark. Yeah, we've been talking about that a lot. Alfred Lord Tennyson published the Kraken in 1830. Uh-oh, Mike. Work titled Poems Chiefly Lyrical.
I'm going to have to tell Allison this.
Would the GC prof, which is Mike, Gaston College professor, count that as literary?
Well, yeah, if it's a poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson, British poet.
But does the team name come from that?
Yeah, but
we know that the Baltimore Ravens were named.
There's only one person we would know.
After the poem.
The only one person that would know whether it came from the literary or just from folklore, and that would be the person that chose it.
Yep.
Or submitted it, or however they came up with I like it. I mean, I think they got some great looking gear with the Kraken on it.
I'm going to do some research on that.
Yeah. Let's see. Lenny says, I saw it on one of our favorite programs, CBS Sunday Morning. Yeah, that is, I still say that's maybe my favorite TV show to watch every week.
I love that show. I've started watching it here in the last couple of months, and it's...
They usually have one good music segment on there.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what was on last week or who it was or anything, but it's just always good.
It is.
Good stories on there.
They're really heartwarming, some of them just fascinating. Yeah.
Just really, really good stories on there.
I'm with you.
They do a good job with that. So now we don't know if Mike's people did get the Raven, though, so I like that question. And Brett got that right as well. When we went to break, he got the Raven.
I'm going to have to look up the Kraken and see what that is. The poem by Tennyson.
I didn't have time to think about it. I raced to the bathroom to get rid of some coffee. Harrison Ford. That was really good. I think Lenny's talking about the Harrison Ford segment.
That was a good story.
Yeah, last week. And his ranch, wasn't that a pretty place?
It was.
His ranch in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Did you see that, Brett? Oh, that's good.
Said he wanted to get away from L.A. and all that. And, yeah, it's beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, he was talking about being on
1923.
1927. Three. Was it three? 19, well, that too.
They hadn't made
so the other one ended in 7.
No, I think it was 1883.
Oh, was it?
1883, and then 1923 is the sequel, right? To 83.
Why did 1923 not sound right to me?
Yeah, it's 1883 and 1923.
So all of them in 3, because the current one's 2023. Now.
Yeah.
Right.
Season 5.
That'd be easy to remember. Now they all end in 3. While I get a cramp in my leg and stand up here, I was looking at the ACC schedule for today, or the NCAA schedule for today. Boston College, Virginia. Virginia's ranked 7th in the country. That's on the ACC network today at high noon. Auburn at West Virginia is on ESPN at noon. Louisville, Notre Dame. Both teams struggling, aren't they?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
To say the least.
Whole state of Kentucky struggling.
Yep. Is Notre Dame in Kentucky?
No, but I was talking about, obviously, the Kentucky Wildcats.
They are struggling. And, well, Duke and Kentucky, the one and dones is caught up with both programs.
Yep. No,
caught up with both programs.
Pretty obvious.
So, yep. They'll both do good to
make the tournament.
To make it, and then can't see either one at this point going past
Kentucky,
second round.
Kentucky has won 4 in a row now.
Have they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they play Kansas today.
Ooh.
Big non-conference game.
This is a big day because you got the SEC Big 12 Challenge.
Is that right?
Yeah. All the games are good.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
Texas and Tennessee's.
Texas,
I think
that's the highlight.
I think so.
Battle of the T's. Who gets to wear
UT?
Yeah.
A battle of burnt orange, right?
Yep. Well, Tennessee's is not burnt orange.
No.
No, it's just orange.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, that's what Lenny just said with the text. Today is SEC Big 12 Challenge.
Yep.
That's odd to have it this time of year, isn't it?
It is this late.
Right in the middle of the conference.
I know.
Season, but makes for good TV.
I'll
put it there. It's maybe better than some of those conference matchups would be. Marquette's ranked number 16. Iowa State number 12. Alabama number 2. Which one of those 3 things is more shocking in basketball?
Well, the Alabama
2.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be Alabama ranked number 2. A lot of people say they're the best team in the country. Are they? I've not seen them play.
I haven't either.
But if right now they're the second best team in the country according to the latest poll on ESPN.
They haven't lost in a while. They got a nice win streak right now. Last loss was to Gonzaga, December 17th.
So they're playing in their SEC Big 12. They're playing Oklahoma on the road.
I know. Yeah, Oklahoma's not very good.
They're not that good this year.
Yeah, but you know what? I could see an upset there.
Yeah,
I really could. I mean, it's number 2 going on the road to So I just think that I think it could be. I think that could be an upset. 12 Iowa State goes to Missouri. 16 Marquette goes to DePaul. Speaking of the late Al, why is it slipping my mind right now?
Al McGuire.
McGuire. I wanted to say the broadcaster's name. Can't even think of it right now either. Michaels.
I wonder if he's the only NCAA coach that's gone out. I mean, his swan song season was when he won the national title in '77. Then he retired. Maybe Wooden did too. John Wooden with UCLA.
Okay, I'll get a question here. Rodney's got a question. Says, what team is the only one to have played in both the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game? I think I know the answer, just right off the top of my head. For some reason, it hit me.
AFC and NFC.
Yep. I'm going to go with Colts.
Yep.
Would that be it?
I think
it has to be.
It's got to be.
Yep. Right off the top of my head, that was the first thing I could think of as the Colts.
For some reason, Seattle. Was Seattle ever in the AFC? But I don't know if they played in the championship game.
They were in the AFC
they were
for
in
a long time.
division with
right,
Denver and Kansas City, right?
Yep.
But
Rodney says Seattle.
Did they make a championship game?
Rodney says Seattle. I mean, it was his question.
Ah.
So
who would have been the coach and QB then?
All I can tell you is Steve Largent was most likely a receiver.
Yep, that's true.
So who beat them in the AFC title game, Rodney, and what year was that? Because that one slipped my mind. I don't recall Seattle being in the AFC championship game.
That's right, they were.
Long message here from our friend Lavelle Hall, but it has nothing to do with radio. So he's
the commish.
Me, so, yeah,
the commish of the Western
him.
Foothills 3A.
83-84 season. Raiders beat the Seahawks
in the championship.
AFC championship.
Okay.
Has anybody else switched? You know, we saw it in baseball quite a bit with the Astros and some others.
Brewers.
Still hadn't got used to that one with the Astros.
But has anybody else made that move in football as of late?
And Jim Zorn was the quarterback of that Seattle team.
Yeah.
Well, Rodney would remember this, no doubt, because lost in '83 to the Raiders. So that's that's the only reason he gave us the question, so he could say something good and positive about the Raiders. There's not a lot floating around.
Chuck Knox,
here lately.
Coach of the Seahawks.
Yeah, Chuck Knox, in my opinion, is one of the greatest coaches in NFL history because he did good things with the Rams and the Seahawks.
He sure did.
During his.
There's another Chuck who was a great one too, Chuck Noll.
Yep.
Pittsburgh.
Who's the best coach currently named Chuck? I don't know. Chuck Amato a few years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if I throw him up there with the greatest by any stretch of the imagination, but he was a coach.
Yep.
Number 6, Arizona today, playing at Washington. Number 24, Clemson, playing at Florida State. More ranked games for you there on the horizon. Number 20, Miami goes to Pitt. That's ought to be a good game.
Yeah, that's a good one.
TCU, ranked number 11, goes to Mississippi State. Good thing they're not going to Georgia. Wouldn't that have been something if that was their matchup?
TCU, Georgia.
Had to go play Georgia.
Don Revel says the SEC could have 2 number 1 seeds in the tournament.
Duke at
Kentucky
Georgia Tech today.
Would not be one of them.
And Kentucky would not be.
Who would
Tennessee.
be the other outside of Alabama?
Tennessee and Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're ranked 2 and 4 right now.
Yeah, that's true.
That was neat. I named one, Mike named the other, and Mike still asked that question. Other matchups today that you might be interested in. Let's see. There may not be any more ranked matchups today. We've already mentioned this one, 10 Texas at 4 Tennessee. That's probably the highlight game, like Brett said, of the entire day.
Yeah, it seems
Florida
like
at number 5, K-State. Boy, they have just come out of nowhere to be ranked
Where is
5th.
K-State being?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're ranked. I know where they're at now.
Yeah.
Ranked number 5 in the United States.
Would anybody
they
argue?
They lost this week to Iowa State.
Of course, all you got to do is get ranked in the top 10, and
Yeah.
you usually lose to Iowa State.
Yeah. And Iowa State's pretty good. They're ranked 12th.
Who's Iowa State's most famous alumni?
Brock Purdy.
Probably
Brock
so.
Purdy.
Probably so.
Right now.
Right now.
Yep. That's the one that comes to mind. There was a game on last night on Fox Sports 1, and it was Oklahoma and Iowa State.
Yeah.
And they
Was
were
it
showing
Jalen-
that
was it
because
Jalen
Purdy.
Hurts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Hurts
They're
against
gonna play
Purdy.
tomorrow.
Hurts against
C.D.
Purdy.
Lamb was in the game.
That's
Of
right.
course, he's not playing this weekend. We didn't have to mention him. Does the Browns-Ravens count? Browns won NFL in 60s, moved to well, it wouldn't really,
No, because
Ned,
it was
because
a
they
different-
changed their name. They
Yeah.
changed the name of the whole franchise. But just asking. But that's a good answer. Definitely a good answer. Colts played the Jets in the Super Bowl, and the Colts played Dallas in the Super Bowl. That's right. That's right. So they played as an NFC team one time.
Hey, they've won a Super Bowl as an AFC team.
Yeah.
When they played the Jets.
So they had to win the championship game in the AFC to get there, right? Would that one not still be right, along with the Seattle Seahawks?
What was it called? NFC
It wasn't
and AFC
called
then?
AFC Championship at the time. I'm sure it was probably called AFL Championship.
Yeah.
But I would almost give them the same nod because they went, they made
Yeah.
it from both sides. So, I'll have to argue with Rodney on that one. He'll be asking me for money soon, so I'm going to win. All right, we got to take our final break. Final trivia question of the morning.
Let it fly.
Here we go. We could possibly have Joe Burrow versus Jalen Hurts, which would be two quarterbacks from the SEC facing off, right?
On Hurts, there's
Kind
a little
of.
qualifier there.
Okay, who's the other two? Mahomes and Purdy. But nonetheless, let's just
I
say.
think
Yeah, those are
Oklahoma,
both Big
Oklahoma
12.
wants to
Yeah.
claim Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. But anyway, that just kind of, even if that's false information, who was the first? What Super Bowl had the first all SEC quarterback matchup? Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. Final segment of our show this morning. Got about 7 more minutes here to be with you. Asked the latest trivia question, the latest Super Bowl trivia. Rodney Willis is correct, by the way. And I would expect Rodney to get this one, if that's a good hint for you guys.
I do know one of them.
I would expect Rodney
I know one of them
to get this one, and he did.
Well,
you have to know them both.
I know.
So don't throw the one name out.
I'm not.
Till you get them both.
I'm not.
And if you can get them both, then I'll let you have the floor.
I'm sure about one of them, but I can't think.
Lenny Anthony, the second one to get the duo correct. We'll give you this.
To get the other half of it.
Super Bowl 11, if I'm not mistaken.
11.
Super Bowl 11. I'm sorry, Brett. That's a little before your time.
Oh, yeah. I think I got one. I'll just go to the
most
famous Raider quarterback.
Y'all are both going to have the same one. Okay, Rodney, tell me if I'm wrong here. Now, you said the most famous Raider quarterback. I would say maybe the most famous Raider quarterback went on to win 2 Super Bowls. You know who that would have been? Tell me, am I right or wrong on that, Rodney? Did Jim Plunkett win 2 Super Bowls?
Well, to me,
with the Raiders? He may not have.
To me,
that's not him. It's not him.
To me, Ken Stabler is more famous than Jim Plunkett.
Yeah.
And I didn't see either one of them.
Jim Plunkett needs to be in the Hall of Fame, though.
He does.
I think.
2 Super Bowl wins.
Yep. And he was kind of a journeyman, but he won with those teams. You know, he was in New England, but he won with those teams. So,
is Ken Stabler in the Hall of Fame?
I think he is.
Yeah, he is.
So who was he up against? You've got one. You've got Stabler from Alabama, and now you need the other guy.
The NFC guy.
Yeah, the NFC guy.
Wow.
I could give you some really great hints on him.
NFC guy.
He lost multiple Super Bowls. That's the best hint I can give you right there.
Fran Tarkington.
Mm-hmm. Where did he play his college football? And don't say in the SEC.
Yeah. I didn't think he would. Whoa. Where did he play?
Yeah, I could guess SEC schools, but I don't know.
Second closest SEC school to us. I would think. I'd get MapQuest out and check it for you.
Second closest.
Second closest.
Well, I would say South Carolina's the closest.
Yep.
I would have said Tennessee's second closest.
I'm going by hours it takes
Georgia.
to get there. Takes 3 hours to get to Athens and almost 4 to get to Knoxville. So, and everybody forgets Tarkenton played at Georgia. That's a common thing that people forget. Tarkenton played at Georgia, and I don't,
Yeah.
Was he the quarterback in all 4 Minnesota losses? Lenny, I'm not sure. Was he the quarterback in all 4 Minnesota losses?
How about Joe Cap?
Because they went to 4 in a brief period, not like Buffalo. It wasn't, in a row.
No.
But they went to 4 in a short period of time,
Almost has to be Tarkenton.
I never. Who else? What famous TV personality played on some of those Vikings teams? Even played under a different name at that time. He's got a different name now than when he played. And I can't. Now, if you had to ask me what his real name was before he changed it, I don't think I would be able to remember.
Oh.
Also married to a famous actress.
That's right. Oh, I can see his face, but I can't get the name.
Yep. Did a lot on NBC, as I recall, for sports. And great guy. Great. Just, somebody you'd like to hang out with.
Lanny knows.
Because of his, well, you can say it. Ahmad Rashad.
That's right.
Married Felicia Rashad.
Felicia or something, Rashad.
In the Cosby Show.
Yep. Ahmad Rashad.
I don't know what his real name was either.
I don't know.
I can't remember his real name, but I'm pretty sure he changed it. You look at it, Brett.
He did.
Ahmad Rashad went from. Because I remember him playing with the other name on his back, if I'm not mistaken, like maybe a year in the NFL before he.
I think you're right about that.
Before he changed it. Derek Carr holds all the Raiders' passing records except interceptions, which Stabler owns. Well, let me tell you something. Everybody at quarterbacks today is going to own all the records because everybody throws it a lot more.
Yep.
I mean, some of the greatest quarterbacks didn't get to throw it 35 times a game or 45 times a game even, like we see today.
I guess his
totally
large
different.
star probably didn't throw it over.
Hey, we got the name. Lenny knew the name of Rashad. Bobby Moore.
Bobby Moore. Wow.
Yep, Bobby Moore. I remember it when I seen it. I thought it was just a very simple name. It's
Juju Phillips says Joe Caps.
Joe Caps. I thought I saw a Joe Caps on here.
Was the
Joe
quarterback
Cap.
of one of those.
Okay.
Teams.
So Tarkenton did not do them all. Joe Cap maybe was
70, 74, 75, and 77 is when they played.
Well, I bet Tarkenton was not the quarterback in 70. That'd be my guess.
Let's see.
But that, like I said, that is just a guess because there was a pretty good.
He was with the Giants.
Yeah, he was
at that
a Giant.
time.
Yeah. Okay.
He quarterbacked the other 3.
So he lost 3. He's 0-3 as a starter. And Joe Cap or Caps, which is it? That Cap. Joe Cap.
I think
is the owner.
I don't think there's an S on the name.
Pretty good trivia questions, though, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. Some of them required a little more thought. I thought the easiest one. I don't know. It didn't seem to be. I thought the easiest one would have been Terrell Davis, but it's rare when anything other than a quarterback wins MVP in the Super Bowl.
Now Juju says the cap came with Bud Grant from Canada.
Are we gonna pick these 2 games?
Oh yeah, we got
sure.
to real quick.
Sure. I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
First game of the day is the Eagles and the 49ers. Eagles by 3.
I can't go against my 49ers. 49ers by 7.
And I'm going with who I picked to be in the Super Bowl when the playoffs started. I'll go Eagles.
The reason I'm going with the Eagles tomorrow is I thought take two mistakes away from Dallas, and they beat San Francisco. Philadelphia probably won't make those mistakes, and they're playing at home. That's the reason I chose Philly.
I get it.
Now I may be wrong, but I'm just going that way. But
49ers will have to win with defense, which they do have the best defense in the
and on the
NFL.
In the other contest, there's been so much talk about Cincinnati and how they own Kansas City. I'm going with the Chiefs. I think they're going to play their best football tomorrow, even with an injured Mahomes.
Yeah.
I think Cincinnati's a better team than the Chiefs, but I think the Chiefs are going to do it.
I echo exactly what you said. I don't think that how in the world can Cincy beat the Chiefs a fourth straight time and the second straight time.
And everybody's leaning Bengals.
AFC Championship.
That usually goes against you.
Well, I thought I was going to be alone, but I'm also taking the Chiefs.
There you go. That'll do it for us on this great Saturday morning. What is the day? January 28th. It is less than 11 months to Christmas. You better start getting ready. For Mike Powell, Brett Keever, I'm David Keever. And Sully. And Lanny. See you next week.